Hey guys, it's back with JohnyTechReview and I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a while since I reviewed a pair of headphones. So I've been using this pair of Ausdom ANC8 noise cancellation headphone for the past 2 months or so, and I would like to give you guys a quick feedback on it. So this is using Bluetooth 4.0, so it's not the latest and greatest, but it works pretty well, and it also has built-in noise cancellation. It has a built-in rechargeable battery that lasts for about 20 hours as they claim. And also it can also be used passively if you plug into like an auxiliary cable with no power needed. So like I mentioned earlier, I have used unit for about 2 months. I appreciate that Ausdom sent it out for me to review. They've seen that I've done other video on the channel about headphones, so they just want to send it out for me to just check it out. I took my time with it because I was a bit busy, but here are some of my feedback. So first of all, let's talk about the construction. The headphone itself is basically made out of plastic. You have plastic everything pretty much, the band, the cup, the ear muffs. So these earpieces here are these little soft plush fake leather, I guess, they're false leather. They're pretty comfortable. You have the Ausdom logo on the side. These are all plastic. The only metal part of this is the band, which is here, and then of course some screw. The band is pretty flexible, has a decent head clamp to it, and then at the bottom of the unit you have some buttons. On one side, on the right side, you have the power, the LED indicator, and then you have the plus and minus for volume and also for playback control like fast forward and rewind. On the other side you have a hole that you can plug in the auxiliary cable when you don't have any power to the unit actively, and then you have the active noise cancellation button which you can enable and disable, and this works with or without music, so you can use that interchangeable. So the other part that comes with the unit is you have a micro USB charging cable, you have a 3.5mm audio cable, a user manual, and it comes with a nice carrying case to put everything in. It's a semi-hard carrying case, which is pretty nice to put everything in. It works pretty well. So as far as the feel of the unit, it feels pretty nice and premium. I wouldn't say it feels cheap. It's a bit light, but it feels pretty nice in the hand. I do like the plush leather. I think these are false leather, but it works pretty well. One thing to keep in mind is that with my ear at least, I feel like after about 30 minutes they do get a little bit warm, so I had to take them out and kind of rest them a little bit. They're not the best until I let the air escape. As far as the sound, these are the closed back design, so you can expect the sound stage is a bit small and squeezed. There is no sound leakage, which is pretty good. You have to crank it up pretty loud for that to happen. As far as sound quality, I want to kind of separate into 4 different areas. I'll start out with the normal, typical use case, which is Bluetooth mode. So in Bluetooth mode, what you have is you have a pretty decent low end. The low end would produce some nice bass. Nothing crazy low rumbling, but it works pretty well. If you listen to popular top 40 music, this come out pretty well. Dance music sounds pretty good. The mid is warm, which being for vocal music, for pop music. Again, top 40 sounds pretty good in this. The high is not as clear as I would like. I mean, it's there, but it's not crystal clarity clear or anything like that. So you can expect a little bit of warmer tone, and what that means is, for me, classical musics are not really the best for these, but I found like your typical, casual listening music, this sounds pretty good. So now if you turn on the noise cancellation, that will effectively blocks out some of the sound. I will try to simulate that sound. It's really hard to demonstrate that to you guys. I will play some noise and then I can kind of reduce the noise to give you an idea of what kind of reduction you can expect. But with a noise cancellation on, it reduces some of that sound, especially the white noise. You can still clap your hand and you still kind of hear it. You can still hear people talking faintly, but it doesn't cut out totally like some of the really nice ones like Bose or Sony's out now. With the noise cancellation turned on, you do lose a little bit of dynamic, I'm afraid. Turning it on, I feel like everything's being kind of like compressed and mute down just a little bit. So I usually listen to it off. I don't really like the noise cancellation on, but if you want to turn it on, that would help. Especially on like an airplane or any noisy area, I think this will really help. At my workspace, it's pretty quiet, but when people are talking and giggling, if I turn the noise cancellation on, that kind of help. And it also mute out the AC unit that's running. So if you turn it off, you can hear that, but if you have your music loud enough, typically around 70-80%, it's going to drown out anyway. Finally, I want to talk about how it sounds when you're plugged into the auxiliary. Surprisingly, this is the best sound quality. The cable that they give you, it's kind of crappy. It's just like a generic 3.5mm audio cable. I use another slightly better cable, and definitely there's less noise and less crackle and stuff like that. I would say the sound quality coming out of the cable is the best. and when you're using the cable, you're not using any power at all, so you can have the unit completely die and then use the cable while it's charging or something like that. If you wish, you can still do that. You can charge and use it at the same time. That will mean you have to dongle a micro USB cable out of it, but that's a possibility if you want to do that. So one of the last thing I want to mention is the battery life on this unit is rated for about 20 hours, like I mentioned. In my experience, when I first got it, I charged it fully before I start using it, and over the course of about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I slowly drain it out. My typical listening is about an hour to 2 hours top, because these can get pretty warm, so I stop listening, and I use them a lot of time at work while I'm sitting down. After that, it ran out. I charged it again, and then I use it again until now. So in the course of about 2 months, I probably charged it 2.5 times if I remember correctly. So in general, the usage has been pretty good. And that is what most of the time the active noise cancellation actually turned off, because again, I didn't really like the compressed sound. If you leave it on, they're supposed to rate a little bit less. One last thing I do want to point out is, this is the adjustment of the earpiece, and this is as far as it goes. For me, my head, pretty big head, it works pretty well, but I feel like it's a little bit short. So if you have a head that's bigger than mine, that might be a problem for you, so just keep that in mind. So guys, that's basically my quick review of this pair of Ausdom active noise cancellation headphone. I don't really have much to say about it. It's a pretty typical budget range. So if you're looking for something that has decent, nice sound quality and you're not really picky about audio, this is a good pair of headphones. If you like something that cancels out some noise, and even when you don't turn on noise cancellation, the closed back sounds pretty good. Don't expect any crazy sound state from this guy, but other than that, it works pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little headphone review from Ausdom here. So again, I would like to thank you to Ausdom for sending me a pair of this to give it a try. So if you guys have any question about this pair of headphone or anything, just leave it in the comment box down below. So if you find this video useful, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more future videos like this. Thank you.